Murtough's on the move. It's been reported that John Murtough, Manchester United director, has already been to Saudi Arabia and met in Riyadh with representatives from Saudi Arabian clubs from their Pro League for the possible sales of Raphael Varane, Casemiro, Jadon Sancho and Anthony Martial. I'm going to put a poll up shortly to find out who is most important to you for leaving Manchester United. Is this the right thing? Is this happening before the Liverpool game and actually before Raphael Varane has actually turned back up in United shirt under Ten Hag? So does it mean anything? And how did he do? Was anything reported in terms of possibilities? We'll have a look into that. We'll give you guys a chance who weren't on the morning show earlier on today to give your verdict on in a bit more detail on the game yesterday. And moving forward from that, we have some injury updates which are going to be a little bit more of a boost for Ten Hag. Going into a jam-packed spell, 3 games all close together. West Ham, Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa over the Christmas period. We need as many players available as possible and we have got some players coming back. So, good news afoot. We'll get into it. But guys, let's, honestly, after this morning show and everyone's sort of aftermath after what was going on at Anfield yesterday, there's a lot come from it. There's a lot going on, so I want to get your guys' thoughts in the chat on that as well. Let me know what you think. I've already started the poll that's just gone up in the chat now because I want to start with the transfer speculation. There's a few different things in this. You could look at it and say false news. You could say, really? I don't see this happening. There's some players we obviously all know need. When will he leave? Will it be January? But realistically now you have to look at this and go, this all rolls into what is going on with Manchester United right now, because the injured players coming back, does the value of these players in the summer determine how well they finish the second half of the season? And does that give Ten Hag a headache if these players are actually playing well in selling them on? If he wants to move players on to raise funds, because we know that Manchester United need to raise funds. So the stories come from the Daily Mirror, caught offside, a few people were reporting it, that John Murtough, obviously we know Manchester United sporting director, whatever you want to call him. I don't even know what his role is at Manchester United anymore. He has been out to Riyadh to discuss the possible signings of Jadon Sancho, Martial, Varane and Casemiro. I think I already know how the poll is going to go in the chat. I want you guys to get voting on that. Please do. Hello everyone who's just joining in as well. Get liking the video, please everyone. Do subscribe if you tune in for the first time as well. Hope you all enjoyed the video this morning regarding Jose Mourinho's quotes. I know a lot of you have left your comments on that one, so thank you. I will take them all in. And yes, moving forward, Manchester United in a bit of a better place than we was earlier on last week. So looking at it in a positive. But player outings is not something I thought I would be discussing right now. Not the ones that are supposedly in this report of John Murtough going out. It looks like he's come back empty-handed out of the whole report, looking at it when you read into it. But has made some good contacts and made some new relationships over there. So maybe this is in line for the summer more than January. We know that Jadon Sancho is a must. I think this is probably working in terms of Jadon Sancho being on loan possibly in January and just out of the way. That is probably all we're going to get with Jadon Sancho. I think everyone's succumbed to that and realises that that's the only chance we're going to get of ridding Jadon Sancho from the club. But does it then mean that we've now started to make contacts to try and build up a relationship with another club where we can actually now make something happen for the summer? Will Jadon Sancho be happy and want to move there? We talked this morning about the player power and things moving in a different direction and how football has changed. So is it as simple as making contacts and wanting to move a player somewhere, but then you bring the player side of it in and it completely blows the opposite way? I mean, I look at it and I go, Jadon Sancho isn't going to Saudi. Manchester United need to find somewhere else for him in Europe, possibly Germany, Italy, wherever it may be, but I don't see Jadon Sancho moving to Saudi Arabia. I think it will be more closer to home. I think he's more comfortable with that, and in his eyes, and why he's kicking up a stink with Ten Hag, is he obviously rates himself, and I don't think he wants to play in the Saudi Pro League. I don't think he wants to go anywhere else but one of the top European divisions. So, problem there on its own. Early knockings on the poll. I've put in there who needs to go the most. Martial and Jadon Sancho are fighting it out between each other. Casemiro and Varane, who are the two other reported players that Manchester United are looking to sell from this report. I've got 0% for both the Man United fan base. I am very happy that is the case, because that is what I would say as well. Varane, after his performance yesterday, I'm going to get into detail on Varane a little bit more and what happened after the game yesterday, and talk about that game as well and where we move on from there. But Casemiro, I feel, could be a massive bonus for Manchester United. I mean, what you've got to look at here is, yes, these might be the only players that are worth any money, but you're not going to get a lot. All the players we're talking about there cost us in the region of 250 million, so a quarter of a bill. All these players cost us. So you look at it, how much are we going to make back? We've got two of them that are now 30 plus in Varane and Casemiro. Yes, they're the most decorated and probably the most valuable to another club right now, but no one is going to spend a lot of money when you know you can't earn anything back from that purchase. So I take them out of it completely. Martial, I feel no one's going to spend any money on at all. He's going on a free in the summer, so we can forget the idea of Martial leaving in January. Jadon Sancho's going on a loan. So the report mainly works around Manchester United needing to raise funds to make acquisitions. I don't think there's any value in any of them players right now, because Varane, I don't feel is going to fetch, when we paid just over 40, was it for him? I don't think anyone's going to pay more than 20 million for Varane, and that's it. No one's going to pay anything for Casemiro, I don't think, at 31 now. Obviously, straight off the back of a bad injury as well this season. Yeah, he may have a good end to the season. You may get a little bit more, but again, you're scraping together for Varane and Casemiro, in my opinion, probably just enough to actually buy one more player that Manchester United, what we actually need. So, for instance, you could probably put Varane and Casemiro together and buy Todibo. It's pointless, is what I look at this. It's going to be another year on. And like I said, Varane, Casemiro, both in the 30s, it's not worth it. It really isn't. Sancho may fetch a little bit. Martial, we know, won't. I think this is a case of Manchester United hoping more than anything that someone sees the big name and wants to buy him. And I'm not surprised that Murtough has gone to Saudi Arabia. If this is the case, then it's quite clear United know that there is no value in these players, and they're trying to tap into the Saudi League to find out, test the water as such, how much they could possibly get for these players. I don't think there's any value, or I don't think there's enough in it to even bother. You may get a little bit, but honestly, I don't think there's much in it at all. I don't think we're going to get hardly anything for either one of these players. There are players of value at Manchester United, but we won't sell them. We won't sell them. There isn't any sell on value in our squad, I don't think. Unless we're going to sell players. Excuse me. I didn't hear that one coming. Unless we're going to sell players that Ten Hag clearly wants in his team. That's not going to happen. By that, I mean you would get money for Scott McTominay, his age, and everything else that he brings. I think he would fetch value. He's not on big wages at the moment. That's an easy sell if the club wanted to, but I honestly don't think Scott McTominay is leaving Manchester United. Rashford, do you cash in on him? I doubt it very much with the people at the football club. If you listen to the video this morning, the reason the likes of McTominay and Rashford won't go is because of like what Jose Mourinho was saying in his interview. There's people at this football club that won't allow that to happen, so the manager can forget about it. The manager is completely out of the picture when it comes to the powers that be with Manchester United. I think that's what that interview was all about. Let's get into some of your comments on this one quickly. Just going to stop it there. Sadek, the Glazers are looking at a cost-saving exercise to save money. Our owners want dividends. Let's be honest, no one's going anywhere, says Sponge 10. Summertime, I think maybe, yes, but not in January. Sponge, definitely not. Big Bad Phil, I don't understand why you would raise funds by selling some of your best players to buy lower quality players. Another point I was just about to get to, actually, Phil. There isn't anyone that's going to come in that's available that's better than them players now, for me. Ten Hag is going to definitely have, I feel, at least three. Martial, Casemiro and Varane are all still going to be here at the football club. It would be absolutely stupid to sell any of these players right now, barring Jadon Sancho, and even Anthony Martial, to be honest. It's another body, and we ain't getting anyone else in January if we let Martial go. There's not a chance in hell he's going anywhere until that contract runs out in the summer. I've got no issue with that at all. I have to put up with his moaning. I mean, I looked at the injury report, and it says he's still ill. It must be a bad injury. A bad illness for Martial to still be out right now. Although I can't go in too much on that because everyone says I've got an agenda against Martial. Or few people do. Soft asses. I believe the big earners are being targeted by Jim Radcliffe. After all, he said put the Manchester back into Manchester United. He wants an English or British element in this team. That's stupid. It's stupid and unrealistic, Anthony, because we know we get Manchester United tax on top of British player tax, and we know we're skint. So we're not going to make any money from these sales. We don't have enough money to bring in an English player because they're overpriced. Look at Branthwaite, stupid price. Look at Ferguson, stupid price. British players are a premium, and Manchester United don't have premium wads of cash to pay. So, no, the British core, I can only think, comes from our academy, and that's where the investment needs to go. Right now, I don't see Manchester United being able to sell anyone. We need to get rid of the deadwood, the likes of Martial, Donny van der Beek, these sort of players that have been clinging on and hanging around. You could uncover a youth player in that matchday squad. You could have that moment. You just don't know what you've got until them players are tried. I mean, we had a few on the pitch at Anfield yesterday. A makeshift squad with a good core of academy players on that pitch, and we got a good result out of it yesterday. Varane needs to stay, says Knights. What else have we got here? Dave147 thanking Honest Tiger again for the membership. Brilliant stuff. Honest Tiger is always on it. Don't forget to give the video a like, everybody. We're just going over 200 in the room. Cheers very much for tuning in. Get your thoughts in on this one. There is a poll going right now that will tell you everything about what we're talking about right now. Tony Martial, Sancho need to get gone. United can't let Martial go until the summer. Graham, I think I just said that actually. I think that was your comment from before. Branthwaite, well done, Adam. Yes, I did say it wrong the other day. Graham loves correcting me. He does like his player pronunciation, Graham, don't you, mate? But yeah, cheers for that one. Not Braithwaite, Branthwaite. That's the one. But yeah, inflated prices. British players. You forget your British core. That's what Jim Radcliffe actually was looking at. It's not going to happen. In a way that Manchester United can go out and buy a British player. Not a chance in hell it's going to happen. Actually, the way that it is actually coming about, and when we was talking to Chris Wheeler last week, it's like Manchester United's coffers and the money available in the summer could be worse than last summer. So we have to really make sure we get the right player, because it could just be one or two signings in the summer. That's how drastic it could be for Manchester United. So I look at it and I go, we need to play this one safely and make sure we're selling the right players. I feel like Manchester United right now are just getting rid of players to get them off the books. And you break it down, and you look at Manchester United's squad, compared to what we paid for every player in this squad and what they're earning wage-wise, the drop-off in what their actual sell-on value is catastrophic. That is just ridiculous. It really is, and isn't acceptable. Just goes to show how far we have fallen. Slide Jim ain't even got through the door yet. The UK press and his PR is shite, mate. Yeah, I called BS on the British player thing. I called it already, Carlos. Not happening. I think it's nice, yeah, and again, I think it will be mainly through the academy. So for me, I'm not having it Manchester United going out. We can't afford to go out. We knew that. We had Bellingham, Rice and Harry Kane all available, British players, the best that we've got. And we were nowhere near them. So I think that'll be the same again going forward. We went and bought the B-Tech, no disrespect, in Mason Mount. It still baffles me, that signing. It really does. Sorry, excuse me. What about Tony if we get rid of Martial and Sancho? in Jan, proven Prem striker, and we can't afford anything else right now. He's going to be worth 60, 70 million. We can't afford him, mate. A United spotlight, nice thinking, good idea. Another British playoff would improve Manchester United's forward line. But the only forward coming into Manchester United next year is Mason Greenwood. That's it. That's where United are saving the money. You just prepare yourself. Manchester United have got a young forward, young dynamic forward with the world, or used to have the world at his feet, starting on his comeback. He's doing well in Spain. He will be back in the United shirt, I feel, next summer. We cannot afford to not have him in the team. United need another forward. We've got one already. I just feel like the club are just not going to budge at all. We're not going to leave Mason Greenwood out in Spain. We're not going to allow him to go to another club. I feel like they will be bringing him back in, and I think United's money will be spent in midfield and defence this summer. Not really exciting signings, I know, but when you've got a young forward like that and you can add him to an already young-looking forward line now, I think that's what's happening. That is what's happening. Graham says Paulinho won't come to United. It would be nice, but when you've got Bayern Munich, Liverpool and Manchester City after you, I think United come way down the pecking order in that one. And that's like what I was just saying. Anyone from the Premier League who is doing well, it doesn't even have to be British players. Anyone from the Premier League who is doing well and is looking like the next best thing, United have got no chance at all. I'll tell you that right now. You only have to look at what's been bought. You've got Liverpool and City who come top. And you've got the likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and Barcelona now tapping into the Premier League's talent. Then you've got Chelsea, who will spend more than Manchester United and offer more wages. The lavish lifestyle of living in Chelsea and London. United are way down the pecking order. We need to work differently. We need to go and find that talent. We need to develop the talent rather than try and buy it, because we haven't got the money to do it. We just haven't. This is now Ten Hag and his squad. And with the gaps in between games, fully rested players going into that new year, there's no escape for Ten Hag. He now has to deliver, because he's going to get what he's always wanted, which is time to work with his squad. Player recovery time will be up, and it should be no excuses at all. You'll have everyone back fit, and you will be able to attack the Premier League in the second half of the season. Got 3 massive games now, Manchester United, coming up in West Ham, Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest. You would say all winnable. If you do what you did yesterday against Liverpool, and you can do that, then you have to have confidence that there's another game plan there and we can do the next best thing, which is actually win a game. For God forbid we actually win a game? Really? Wow. Yeah, but no. That is what we're looking at right now. There's no point in playing the way you did yesterday if you're not going to start coming back and backing that up with wins against the likes of them 3 teams. No disrespect. Villa are a different animal, and that is going to be a tough game. West Ham, our record there is crap. And I'm not confident about that one either. And then Nottingham Forest away, they always a result, especially after last season. They are playing poorly. They'll be well up for that game again. That'll be a different challenge for Manchester United yet again. So 3 different games, 3 contrasting games, but all challenging on their own. W is 3. It's absolutely despicable the way Casemiro and Varane, legends of the game, are being treated. Well, I said it before, Varane is back in the team now, through chance, through injury. Hopefully Ten Hag has seen the light and he stays in the team, because he is our best defender. And like I said earlier on today in the earlier show, the fact that he will be playing regular football for the time that Martinez comes back will only help the integration of Martinez back in the team. A chopping and changing defence with Martinez coming back is not going to help Leacher at all. We need Varane, we need something sort of a stable defence for Martinez to come back into. I think it works better for us. To replace who could leave on a free and those who are not worth selling, we need 1 billion to replace with half-decent players. Not happening at all, Chris. It's a nice thought, isn't it? UK Strains. Adam, if you was owners of Manchester United, what would be your 10-year plan? 10-year plan? My 10-year plan for Manchester United would be to have the stadium redeveloped, The training facilities completely upgraded or moved. Manchester United to have a top-class academy set up alongside them training facilities and developing from within. The investment doesn't need to come in players as much as it has been over the last 10 years. If United spent 1.5 billion in the next 10 years like we have the previous 10, I don't think it will be all, I don't want it all to be on players, because none of that money has been invested in the infrastructure of Manchester United. 1.5 billion on players alone. Think where that money could have gone and what other players you could have bought. Think how much of that 1.5 billion has been wasted. That is scandalous. It really is scandalous how Manchester United have got into this state. It really is. But my 10-year plan would be that. A developed stadium, new training facilities, emphasis on youth team, obviously upgrading the women's facilities even more as well. That doesn't take much. It doesn't. It doesn't take much, and that can definitely be done over a 10-year span. But Manchester United, obviously performing better and consistently in the top four, but I feel like that comes with the new structure. I feel like the director of football will have the full say of everything going on. The manager will fall in line with the club's ethos and philosophies and how the club wants to move forward, not the opposite. That's how it will be. SRC says, does Sir Jim Radcliffe want an all-British team? So who? Pickford, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Evans, Shaw, McTominay, Mainu, Mount, Rashford, Tony and Sancho. Is that what he means? Putting the Manchester back in Manchester United? You had a good think about that one, SRC, didn't you? I could tell you was putting a team together there. No, that would be a nightmare for Manchester United. It would, because that would not compete. We know it wouldn't. Graham says, I expect Radcliffe to be ratified when the complications have all been ratified. Ratified, Graham. Can't play like we played versus Liverpool. Must show some initiative. Well, this is it. Ten Hag actually said in his press conference afterwards that is something that Manchester United should do more often. I don't necessarily think he meant it was something that Manchester United should do as a game plan every single game. I think there's some games where you can play like that and be solid and catch a team on the break. And that probably is the big games away from home. Manchester United showed yesterday, and we made Salah, Nunez and Diaz all look average yesterday, and that's credit to that defence. And that's what I want to move on to next, actually, because Varane is on that list, and it would just be stupid. Varane should be Manchester United's captain when Bruno Fernandes is absent. He should not have been Scott McTominay for me. You only have to look at what Raphael Varane posted after he got man of the match yesterday. It was a picture of the man of the match trophy with the whole back line named on it and tagged in it. This man of the match is for that whole defence. There's your captain right there. I know it sounds a little bit tongue-in-cheek and, you know what I mean, a bit soft. Yeah, he's got to do more. It's not all about the words and things like that, but that there is a man that knows the worth of the players next to him. And that breeds confidence. That breeds positivity through his team. And you could tell they all played as one yesterday, because I was splitting hairs between Evans and Varane for man of the match. I thought they were both outstanding. But you could tell they complemented each other. It worked an absolute treat. The composure of Varane and then Johnny Evans, the battler, it was just brilliant to watch. They took the knocks, they made the hits, they defended and cleared the lines really well, I thought. The amount of headers that them two won alone was absolutely ridiculous, because Liverpool had, I think, 12 or 13 corners. There was probably one that caused us any issue. That was the Van Dijk header, which Onana saved. So I look at it and I go, Varane knows that that was a team effort. That's your captain right there. It shouldn't be Scott McTominay. Varane literally ran that defence yesterday, organised it, and it was absolutely rock solid. Brilliant performance from him. And yeah, I think he should be captain. That for me there shows exactly where we are as a team. Ten Hag doesn't know. I think he has been waiting for someone to stand out and perform and actually show him half of the time. Just what have you got? Have you got enough in you to actually be Manchester United's captain? Is someone going to stand out from the crowd? I think we had one. I think we had a few on Sunday, but Varane was the leader out of all of them performers for me, and Varane is Manchester United's captain in the absence of Bruno Fernandes. Talking of Bruno Fernandes, we have to look at everything going forward right now. Guys, let me know in the chat. Actually, I'm going to end that poll because that segment of the show is gone. 50% said Martial is the most important player to be rid of, followed by Sancho. Casemiro and Varane don't even come into it. It's ridiculous that their names are even being mentioned. Next chat is simple as this. Does Bruno Fernandes come straight back into the team? Let me know what you think, everyone, because this is a big one. We just had a great team performance without Bruno Fernandes. And yeah, some people will argue all you did was part the bus. You need some creativity. I agree. I do agree. But the team was together as one. So does Bruno Fernandes come straight back in? That's what I want to know. For me, he comes in for McTominay and we keep the other two midfielders. Amrabat, I thought, wasn't great yesterday, but I thought he was better than Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay stayed on the pitch because he was the captain. That was it. Make sure you do give the video a like, guys. Please, let's get up to that 100 mark. Every like helps the channel. It is good stuff. We are talking Manchester United moving forward. It's nice to be a little bit more positive, actually, going forward. Paul Greaves, just going to get through some of your messages now. Paul Greaves, freebies. Our youth is our only option. Even if the sale of 25% to Ineos goes through, we will still have no money. The money from the sale of the shares will go to the whoever sells the shares and not the club. Yeah, mate, we have to be clever in the transfer market. We have no money. Joel, hello, hope you're well. Let's get to that 100 like mark, people. Please, let's do it. Devon Naker says, got to be wary of the game plan from yesterday. Does not become the norm, especially since they have been starved of this type of praise for such a long time. Be careful of the double-edged sword. Ooh. Very, very important words there, though, Devon, as well, because we cannot think that that is the way forward for Manchester United. I didn't agree with what a lot of the pundits were saying. I mean, Gabriel Banglahor today was talking, how the mighty have fallen and Manchester United because we've gone to Liverpool and parked the bus. You know what? Sometimes you have to accept where you are. And where we are is in the pits, playing crap football, getting smashed off everyone, and on the verge of our 13th defeat of the season already if we lost to Liverpool yesterday. And we've gone and done a job on them and nearly nicked it. Gabby, get back. Step back. I mean, I think it's a headline hunting statement, to be honest. Where do you expect Manchester United to go, Anfield? Let's just play into Liverpool's hands and go gun-ho because we're scoring loads of goals and I really fancy our chances. There are times when you have to do what we did yesterday. How the mighty have fallen. How did Manchester United beat Barcelona in the 2008 Champions League semi-final? We went to the new camp and pretty much had Rooney in defence, putting a shift in, and then we nicked a goal and beat them. That was on the verge of the best ever football team that's walked this planet actually coming through the following year, and we got 2 clean sheets against that team. Sometimes you accept where you are, you look at your opponent and go, there's a way around this, let's just deal with it, and then we move forward. Liverpool, they'll be looking at that yesterday and going, how the hell did that Manchester United defence stop us really putting an effort on goal? There was nothing for Onana to be worried about yesterday. And we were makeshift. We had Scott McTominay as captain. We had Cambuala on the bench because we got no other defenders. We had Dalot sent off late on in the game. Still managed to see it out. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how some people actually do it. If United went out to West Ham next week, and this is where I agree with the chat, and this is where this comes into focus right now. If United went out and actually played that way against West Ham, I'm concerned. I'm thinking, right, we have fallen into that trap, and we do think that that is a way forward. We can't play like that against every team. There will be a switch-off moment, and then where are our passages of play? What are we working on? You can always work on defensive shape. It's easier. What's harder is actually finding that style of play and your identity as a football team. United need that identity. We cannot do that like we did against Liverpool week in, week out. The fan base wouldn't accept it, and I don't think it's within Manchester United's DNA at all. We would just literally be throwing everything away that's been built up in the past if we started playing football like that. It's not our way. It works on occasions, but come on. We need to see attacking football at Old Trafford for Manchester United. Let's see how the poll is going with Bruno Fernandes. Does Bruno Fernandes come straight back in? 69% say yes so far. 2 likes away from the 100, guys. Get a like in the video, please. Let's get that up. Thank you very much. Graham there. I like that comment, mate. Honest Tiger in waiting. Gaz79, what about Luke Shaw for captain? He's always reliable and very constant, very popular at the club with players and fans, and he's been here for a while. He has, but I think he's been out of form as such. I thought Luke Shaw was going to be captain yesterday. I still don't know why it isn't Raphael Varane. He's won everything. He's been there, done that, wore a T-shirt and every single footballing stage. I think that's the man that needs to be captain. And I think a captain plays a certain way. A captain sets the example in the way he plays. Scott McTominay is very inconsistent to be a captain. The absolute musts and the basics of a captain are the performance of his own game alone. That is what needs to be on point, and Scott McTominay is nowhere near that. So, no, Scott McTominay is not a Manchester United captain. He really isn't. 108 likes. Loving that, everyone. Thank you very much. Can we play Mainu as 10? No, it's not really. There's no real point, Jermaine, in playing Mainu as 10. He is better doing what he does for me. So I feel like 8 and 6 are his best positions, and that's where he's played most of the time. Bruno does bits now and then, but we cannot have a crybaby captain. I think he sets the example in effort. Again, though, it kind of comes under what I was just saying. Bruno really isn't performing well enough to be a captain at the moment himself in his own game. He's well off it. So, yeah, I think it's important that the player's actually playing well himself. It's hard to find someone when you're in a bit of a crisis like that to actually have a captain when everyone's off the boil. But I think Bruno has probably earned it more than anyone else at the club for his consistency. I know it's off this year, but again, you sort of got to give him the benefit of the doubt, I think. And hopefully, he'd have come back and seen that performance and seen how the team has performed and thought, you know what, I need to up my game. Hopefully, that's what all the players who get put on the sideline actually think. I need to come back stronger. I know it's off topic. Thank you for McKenna, says Mr. Ipswich Town. Big week for you boys, though. What is it you've got? Is it Leeds and Leicester coming up, Ipswich? So, yeah, big one incoming. Definitely. It's definitely looking on, though. One of the old school early Premier League teams in Ipswich coming back up. And, yeah, can't believe you didn't manage to beat Norwich, though. Oh. Who thinks Kobe plays at the London Stadium if Amrabat, McTominay and Sexy Bruno are fit? Will Ten Hag select him? Oh, Graham, honestly, it's a good question. A good question. I have to just move away quickly because we have a mega super chat in from our man Brian. Brian, LFC USA. Thank you, mate. I seen you in on Anfield Agenda yesterday. Sorry we took you off the top spot, mate. We did one on you yesterday. Quick hello to you, Adam, and the FUTV community. Brilliant stuff, Brian. Thank you very much, as always. Love that. That is come from a Liverpool fan straight out after that poor performance from them yesterday as well. Massive credit to you, Brian. Thank you Your commitment to the channels and contributions will never go unnoticed. Love it. Thank you very much, mate. Jermaine Smith says, I know, but in the case of Bruno, out instead of McTominay. I was still. So my midfield for West Ham would be Mainu, Amrabat and Bruno. That's what it would be. By the way, everybody, injury update. Christian Eriksen has got a chance of playing in this game against West Ham. Bench, I think it's the most likely for him. But does any of you guys actually want Christian Eriksen straight back in the team? Do we need to start mixing it up a little bit? I mean, now Bruno's got a bit of competition, finally. And now Ten Hag has seen that Manchester United can perform without Bruno. Maybe he is starting to think a little bit more. He's done it with every other player. And we're talking the big players. Doesn't matter who it is with United. So Bruno Fernandes, I don't think he's safe. I think Ten Hag ultimately will play him a lot. But I just feel like yesterday, Ten Hag may have seen a different Manchester United, one without Bruno Fernandes, that can succeed in a game plan. So let's see what happens with that one. Not one player deserves to play every single week. I love Bruno Fernandes. I still think he's our best player. Do I want him to play every week if he's not playing well? No, I want him to be dropped like every other player. Every player deserves to be sat on that bench at Manchester United. You're playing for Manchester United, for God's sake. You're expected to be sat on the bench from time to time. Oh, that's what happens at big clubs. Whether we can call ourselves that anymore is another story. I'd start Eriksen first half, Mainu second half. How long is Casemiro out? Casemiro and Martinez both due back in the new year. So that's good news as well. Eriksen back, hopefully. Mason Mount back in the new year also. So we have a lot of midfielders coming back in. Reinforcements at the back as well. Obviously, against West Ham, Dalot will be suspended. So expect to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka back in the team as well. So that's a good replacement there. And no real issue with that. But West Ham looking sharp at the moment again. After that poor result against Fulham, they bounced back very well. Good result in Europe and then beating Wolves at weekend 3-0. That's no mean feat because Wolves are no pushover. So this is going to be a tough game again. I'm worried about this one probably more than the bleeding Aston Villa game. And I should be worried about that one. I worry about every game with United right now. That's just the way it is. It did give me some hope yesterday in how we handled Liverpool. Again, I'm not happy that we don't create anything. I'm not happy we don't score goals. But the fact that we kept that front line of Liverpool completely dead, and Diaz especially. I mean, I've heard people on the radio this morning saying that that's the worst they've seen Mo Salah play as well. And the Liverpool fans right now, Craig's doing a video on Anfield Agenda right now. I've just seen it come up. Can Núñez save his Liverpool career? That was before the game. He was absolutely lauding Núñez as definitely being valued for his price tag, which is over 100 million euros if everything goes right for him. And me, I'm looking at it going, sure. And next thing, he's slagging him off. He's absolutely going in on him. Not happy with him being caught offside continuously. And yeah, all of a sudden, there's a video going up on Anfield Agenda of Núñez and his future at Liverpool. That's because of United and what we did yesterday. So let's not forget about that. Let's bank it, put it in the safe, and know that we can play that way. Maybe use that as a platform, as our defensive shape, but we have to work on a transition a lot better. We're going to get more of the ball against West Ham, Villa and Nottingham Forest coming up. Don't expect it to be a 70-30 split in possession to the opposition again like it was at Liverpool. It doesn't work like that in these games. United have expected to do more. So we'll have the same problem, say for instance, that Liverpool had against us with teams parking the bus. Maybe not against Aston Villa. I think West Ham will try and come at us at home as well. So it may open up spaces for us. We're going to have to be on the ball though, because all of these teams that we've got coming up, well, Villa and West Ham especially, are banging in goals left, right and centre. They're looking good going forward. United need to be on it. But the issue we've got right now is Haaland Højlund. It is. Because he's just not scoring enough goals for us. We needed that one chance putting in. We created the best 2 chances against Liverpool yesterday. Højlund, Garnacho, them go in. You're looking at an absolute Ten Hag masterclass. That's what that was yesterday. That was Jose Mourinho with a little bit of spice on the end of it. We just didn't take the chance. And then everyone's talking a different ball game altogether. It's like, oh, hang on a minute. United have just gone to Liverpool and sunk Liverpool in their prime. Let's not forget, top of the league. Anfield Road End Stadium opening up near 60,000. Biggest crowd in 20 years at Anfield. United on their asses. Liverpool playing well. Everyone's scoring goals. And we kept it to 0-0 without them even causing concern. That is a big positive for me. And that's where I'm leaving it. Right there at Anfield. Now we need to look ahead and move forward. And for me, I look at it and I go, Bruno Fernandes comes straight back into this team and hopefully has seen what happened at Anfield and uses that for himself going forward and changes a little bit. Understands that, you know what, when you're watching a game from the stand, you can see what's actually happening. When you're actually in it and you're constantly in it, you can't change, can you? You just don't see what other people are seeing. Bruno Fernandes would have watched that game last night and gone, actually, wow, look at that shape. Look where Mainu, Amrabat and McTominay are. Look what they're doing. Bruno Fernandes could do what Scott McTominay was doing yesterday. Yeah, maybe not as much of a target man, but he can actually he can do that pressing high up the pitch. He's got the energy to get up and down. Mainu and Amrabat stood solid. Didn't move all game. Barely got into the opposition's half, the pair of them. And that was it. It was like they were instructed to just stick to that halfway line. That's all you're having. Nothing else. I mean, guys, who stood out for you yesterday in that game, guys? Graham Wild says, Núñez embarrassed Michael Oliver yesterday. It made his decision to send Diogo Dalot off ridiculous. Very true. It was a ridiculous red card. And Núñez's attack on Johnny Evans was embarrassing. That should have been looked at, I thought, for a red card. And then he starts clapping the ref. And we know what Oliver's like. You can't do anything to Oliver. Bruno Fernandes touched him on the shoulder in the Spurs game and he got a yellow card. So there was a foul. Then he starts applauding him. That automatically is a red card for me. 2 yellows, like Dalot. All Dalot did was throw his hand down because he didn't agree with the decision. That's not a yellow card. It's definitely not 2 yellow cards. What Núñez did was twice as bad, in my opinion, and it was just an absolute joke yesterday because Oliver let the game go and I thought refed it all right. And then yet again, right at the end, goes and spoils it, tries to steal the headlines. There you go. Usual, everyone's talking about VAR at the end because there's nothing else to talk about because the game was pretty shit, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It really was. Let's get through a few of your comments again. Bruno has to come straight back in with Mainu and Amrabat behind, says Pete. Yep, I think that's the way it needs to be. I don't care if Scott was a captain yesterday. He needs to be dropped back out. Bruno just needs reining in a bit. He does. And this is on Ten Hag for letting Bruno do what he does. If Ten Hag got Bruno and said, I don't like the way you play. You're too erratic. You're all over the pitch. You're not disciplined in your position. You're going to sit the next game out. That's not good enough for me. Bruno would say, oh, damn. In other words, but he would take it on board and learn from it. He's that type of player to do that, in my opinion. He knows where he's playing and he knows what club he's playing for. If it's not good enough, then you drop out and you come back and you do a job. Bruno's not going to start sulking on the sidelines. Yeah, he does a lot of sulking on the pitch, and I know that sounds a little bit contradictory in terms of Bruno not sulking, but I don't think Bruno's that type of player that's just going to sit on the sidelines sulking. He's going to look at that and be chomping at the bit. He'd have been revving yesterday watching that game. He'd have seen certain passes that Amrabat couldn't play, or Scott McTominay, and moves there, and he would have learnt a lot from not playing in that game yesterday, Bruno Fernandes, and I think he'll come back stronger and a better player for it. Let's hope that next time Ten Hag isn't afraid to drop him, and it just is what it is with Bruno Fernandes. I feel like he is going to come back stronger. And if he drops again, hopefully Ten Hag can see now that he doesn't necessarily need Bruno every single game. And he can drop him out of the team. Simon says, sucks, I can't support your channel from my country. What country is that, Simon? I didn't know YouTube had certain countries banned from doing things. What is it you can't do, mate? Surely you can become a member. If you drop into the description, Simon, you can become a member automatically. I think we missed our man on his Tiger today, didn't we? He's not turned up today. He was there earlier on, so we let him off. But do give the video a like, guys. Keep at it, please. All likes, much appreciated as always. What are we currently on right now? What are we on about? 140, 139, is it? The Faroe Islands. Are you not allowed to become a member then, Simon? That is good enough for me. I don't need anything else. But the fact that you're here just watching and subscribe, mate, is everything anyway. So don't worry about it, buddy. But yeah, I'm sure there is a way you can actually do something to support the channel. But I'm not too sure what the rules are for other countries. But yeah, let me just check. I didn't miss any more. Bruno is brave. Nunez also kicked the ball away after the whistle blew. So 3 yellow cards needed. Oh, he's into dark red card then with that one. And yeah, that pretty much. Adam, can I ask your lineup for the West Ham game? Luca Paqueta at West Ham is a class midfielder. And we should be looking at him strong and great eye for a pass with skill. Yeah, City were looking at him until, strangely, that gambling sort of charge disappeared, didn't it? It was weird. It was there and it was like front and centre. And it looked like we were going to get the Ivan Toney scenario. Did anyone actually know what happened with Paqueta and that charge? Gifted membership from our man Daz Salford, 69. Cheers for that, Daz. Tom Fletcher, hello Tom, has taken up that one. Do give Daz a quick thank you for that one as well. Good stuff there. As always, guys, loving the contributions and the community. It is absolutely brilliant. Let me just see what else we've got on here. I'm just checking out a few things here. Just bear with me a second. Yeah, no, nothing else to report on that side of things. But yeah, I mean, my lineup for West Ham, I mean, we're going to be doing it nearer the time. But I think it would be very similar, except it's going to be, I always get stuck at this point. Leo, cheers for that as well. Another membership gifted out there from Leo. Good stuff, as always. DWD Viper, nice name, has taken that membership. Welcome to the members club. Brilliant stuff, guys. Again, community is massive. Love it. Yeah, so the back line, Aaron Wan-Bissaka comes in, stays as it is. Simple. Brilliant. The only reason Delo doesn't play because he was excellent yesterday and put me in my place because I wanted him out. I didn't think it was a game. I thought Diaz was going to destroy him. Totally put me in my place. Congratulations, Diogo. Superb. And love the fact that you did shut me up. I want all United players to do that. I really do. Yes, so Wan-Bissaka comes in for the suspended Delo. That's the back four completed, done. I'm also changing captain for captain. So out goes McTominay, in comes Bruno. Mainu and Amrabat behind Bruno. Highland up front. Garnacho on the left needs to play better though. I mean, there is a shout that Rashford could come in for Garnacho because he had a poor game, but it was Liverpool feeding on scraps. Not the best game to judge our forwards yesterday because service-wise, shit. Let's be honest. They didn't have anything. But the moments that they had in possession, Garnacho really should have done better and not let Arnold get back at him. He should have moved in front of him and at least got the penalty. Highland had to be putting that chance away. Would I rather have Rashford or Garnacho? Would I rather have Garnacho? Would I rather have Martial or Highland? No, I'd rather have Highland. And Anthony on the right-hand side, I thought, came back a bit into the game in the second half and redeemed himself a little bit. He actually did bring it back slightly with some good stuff and some good defensive work as well. So maybe that is important. And maybe Anthony goes into the next game a little bit more confident. You don't know. it's worth looking at that sometimes. When you see a player actually finish a game a lot stronger, playing him in the next game is usually a good thing as well. So yeah, I would probably keep the front line. I would, because I thought they worked hard, and a full week's rest as well. Everyone recovered. There's still a shout for Palestri for me. 150 likes in the bag, guys. Thank you very much. Great stuff. Loving the stream. I know it's a quiet one tonight. There's not much to talk about, but it gives us a chance to have a good old catch-up as well, doesn't it? And get plenty of comments in. Varane is suspended. He was sent off. What you on about, Simon? You mean Dalot? I don't know what you're on about there. I'll talk about January transfer window when we don't even know who the manager will be. I take it you've only just come into the chat, Simon, so I'll forgive you for that one. Yes, you've seen the title and everything. By the way, guys, if you are just tuning in, let's just recap on everything. There is a report that Murtough has been out to Saudi Arabia to now touch base and make contacts with the Saudi-based teams. For me, personally, you make your own mind up. This is one out of desperation because the so-called names on that list that we're looking to sell, Varane, Casemiro, Martial and Sancho, we're not going to get any money in Europe for them. So I think touching base in Saudi is a last hope to actually drag any money out of these players. Nothing will happen in January. I feel anything is going to happen in the summer. Ten Hag has to work wonders with what he's got right now. And that's why we're talking ahead now on the injuries and the players that are coming back as a positive for Manchester United going into the new year. A full fit Manchester United with no European football or Carabao Cup football. There's no excuse for us to not go full ball for that top four. So that is the main point in all of this. I feel like United now, there's no excuse. Ten Hag gets his time on the training ground. And this ultimately will be what we judge Ten Hag on. The excuse of multiple games and not having a chance to work with his players is gone. Now we're going to get a full week's rest. We've got the winter break coming up as well. So, yeah, we should have a fully fit Manchester United squad going into the new year. Have we got enough to get through this busy period, which is Christmas? That's what we were talking about as well. Forest. Before that, we've got Villa. And before that, West Ham this weekend. So, yeah, big time and big week ahead over Christmas for Ten Hag. If you can get through these 3 games, still in touch with the top 4, I think United actually are in a position to actually attack the top 4 and get back in. With us not being in any other competitions, Wigan in the Cup, it's not really going to affect much. We can play a softer team there as well. There's zero excuse for Manchester United and Ten Hag going in with Premier League now into the new year. There's not as many games and we need to start seeing some form of style of play. We're not accepting what we did against Liverpool, as good as it was for that game. We're not accepting that either every single week. We can't revert to that every single time now. That's a no-go. But guys, that pretty much is it for the stream. Let me know on all the topics. Get your comments in on this video when it does drop on YouTube as well. Remember to give the video a like on your way out, everybody. Fantastic stuff as always. And yeah, subscribe if you are tuning in for the first time. Always happy to have new members, new subscribers jump on board. It's brilliant stuff. We're going from strength to strength. Trying to hit that 33,000 subscriber mark before Christmas. A week to go until the big day, pretty much. Well, actually, it is a week to go today, isn't it? It is Christmas Day on Monday, I think. Yeah, I'm right in that one.